Did you hear that?
Did. I clicked OK.
Okay. Okay. Welcome to Courage Conversations with Joi Milhous. I speak with women who have made brave decisions when fear is present. Today I'm joined by writer Elle Lorenzoni. Did I pronounce
Hmm.
it right? Okay. Who left a legal career to pursue spoken word and storytelling. So, Elle, let's begin with this. What decision in your life felt the most risky at the time?
Creating work, creating anything, you're kind of in a vacuum. Even if you're doing something collaboratively, you're in a vacuum and you're protective of what you create. And so, what was risky for me is putting my creation out there to people, where I hired a development producer and other people to help me develop the project. And so giving my baby essentially to the world to help make it happen, it's quite daunting. It's once you put your work out there, it's no longer, you can't protect it, and people criticize, and people will sometimes are mean, and so yeah, just putting my creative efforts out there to and get people to help me make it a reality, that's been a huge risk.
Hmm, I can imagine. That was the biggest, the hardest part of, or the riskiest part of that decision.
Well, the riskiest part of that decision, emotionally, yes, that was the riskiest part. Practically, the people that I hired, you talking about, now financial risk. The
Mhm.
people that I hired, they basically fleeced me, and they had the project, did nothing with it substantively for a year. So much so that I ended up having to sue one of them, and had to get my lawyer involved in all of it. So not only am I putting my project out there for the world to experience, but we never even got that far because the people that I hired were not uh, lacked integrity. I'll say it that way.
So that somewhat answers the next question, because now I want to speak to the fear of it all. Before you embarked upon that journey and fell into that part of it, what almost stopped you from taking that first step?
Well, yeah, it kind of does answer this question a bit. That if you go online and look at comments and people's, let's say, YouTube channels, people are mean. And there's the line from Erica Badu of in her song Tyrone, that I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my you know.
Yes.
So yeah, putting the emotionally putting the work out there, that's one level of it. And it's kind of, that's a spiritual level of it.
Yes.
But then when you realize the financial commitment that it takes to also make something a reality, that's a whole other thing. So the money that I spent to with these development producers to help make the work a reality, and then having to spend money on lawyers because they didn't do what they said they would do. So yeah, I think you have to you have to believe in what you've created enough that if it doesn't happen when you've put that effort into it, that's not failure.
Hmm. I love that. Believe in what you've created enough. That's the fuel, right?
So it not happening, it is, it really is that sometimes it's kind of like when you learn to ride a bike, you're on a tricycle with training wheels, and you fall and you fall and you fall, and at some point you're riding, and at some point the training wheels come off, and at some point you're on a 10 speed. At some point you're riding with no hands on the handlebars. So I think putting your creative work out there to the public, fundamentally, it's not different. That often things may not happen the first time, and that's not failure. And I think just as a society and as a creative, we need to redefine what failure means. You know, and for me, failure means stopping, not in the process not happening the first or second or third time I put the effort in. But failure for me is stopping.
Mm, that's an excellent guardrail.
It is.
So, what helped you to move forward?
I respect my own grind. You know, I think that when you put so much effort into something, you know what you know the sleepless nights you've had. You
Yeah.
know the headaches that you've endured to make something happen. You know the time you've put into something that could have been put into something else. And yeah, I respect my own effort. And you know, effort is another resource. It's priceless. You know,
Yes.
it's because once you're putting it into something on one particular day, you've lost that effort and you've lost that day for something different. So, you know, there were years put into this project that I was trying to develop. That it's a brilliant project, and I'm not saying that because it's mine. I'm saying it because I am a consumer in, you know, the entertainment market, and it's something I would watch.
Yeah.
So knowing the effort that went into it, there's no giving up. There's no stopping. There's stepping back, reassessing, identifying what I did wrong. Because I think we have more we have more energy sometimes in things going wrong than we admit.
I,
Um,
I love.
and
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I want to just interject here. I love how you honor your effort. That's commendable. Thank you
thank
for
you,
finding the words to express that.
thank you. But I think when we deal with ourselves as creatives and then we bring other people involved, there are red flags.
There are.
And, you know, in my own responsibility, I ignored some red flags, thinking that, okay, they're, you know, maybe pink flags and not red.
Right.
Um, you know, but if I'd wiped my glasses off enough, I would have seen them red. And, you know, some of the red flags kept getting, the pink ones kept getting, you know, closer and closer to red. And when you start seeing flags of any color, you know, that are not advantageous to your project, get out. Get out. You have to, you know, you can't think that people who say they want to help you are actually aligned, you know, with your vision and with what they say they will do. So, you know, in my case, contracts were signed and money was transferred, and despite all of that, you know, the people did not. They had zero integrity. So, but again, you know, I take full responsibility because I saw the flags and just, you know, denied their color.
That's very courageous of you because that answers the next question I have from you was what did you learn from this experience? And
Yeah, I learned a lot. That's one of the things. That's I, I think it take responsibility for how if things go well, if the, you know, it's your burden, it's your benefit.
yeah,
And it's if you've created something and you've birthed something, you know, you have to treat it like your child. You would not let someone harm your child. You know, you
no,
would not let someone do anything that is not in your child's best interest. And creative work is not any different. And I think, um, yes, seeing the red flags, but I also think knowing the business that you're in is imperative. And what I
mm,
did was paid people who I thought knew the business because I didn't, and they did not guide me in the way that I should have been guided. And had I known, I'm not saying that, for every step of the way you have to know the ins and outs of everything.
Right.
But I think that if you're going to be, like make a movie or a television show, there's some fundamentals that you can learn and you should know before you step into that arena. Otherwise, it's easy to be taken advantage of.
Yes. That's wise to protect yourself.
Yes.
At least know enough about the industry or the your endeavor to protect yourself.
Yes.
Yes, that makes perfect sense. Lesson learned.
Lesson learned indeed.
Now, what would you say to a woman facing the same decision that you felt had to face?
I would tell her, and I've said it a little bit earlier, you need to define what failure looks like. Because something not happening the first time, the second time, it's not failure. It's a, everything's a learning experience. And depending on how you shift your mind and how you think about reality and your participation in reality, something not happening is sometimes it's, and I don't mean to be religious, but sometimes it's God's way of keeping you out of something that that you really should not be in. And I
Yeah.
think for me, I think that's exactly what happened here. I think these are people I should not have worked with. And I lost, time and money, and it got cut when it did, but so much more could have been lost.
Yes.
So I think defining failure is one that I think every woman should know what that is, whether it be in, creative endeavors, relationships, work. I think defining what failure looks like is top priority. Two, and I mentioned it already, respect your own effort. Don't
Yes.
let people waste your time.
Right.
Don't allow negative. I'm not going to say negative energy because now we're getting into a whole different conversation. But make people do what they say they'll do.
Yes.
And if they're not doing it the first time and you call them out on it and they still don't do it, move on.
Yes.
Those
Thank.
are the those are what I would tell other women.
Well, I'm sure that these words and your testimony will impact upon someone who's standing at the threshold of fear versus living their dream. Thank you for taking the time to share your courage story with us here on Courage Conversations today. So
Absolutely.
thank you so much, Elle.
Thank you as well. Thank you for
Okay.
talking with me.